Hi, my name is Samuelle Dimairho, and I'm an entrepreneur based in Zimbabwe. And I see myself as a global entrepreneur despite my physical location of Zimbabwe. I've decided to make this video to share it with people who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs or who are generally aspiring to succeed in life and in their various callings and dispositions. So my journey started when I was very young. I grew up in a family which was considered poor by societal standards. But regardless of that, my parents did the best they could under the circumstances to make sure that we were brought up in the best possible environment and we got the best possible education. Despite being poor by societal standards, we got the kind of education that, you know, a lot of middle class to rich families would get. So my parents really sacrificed a lot to get us that kind of an education. So from an early age, I was always aware of my situation and my standing in society, that I was not in the middle to rich bracket and I wanted to make money. That was my initial motivation. So I would wheel and deal and look for ways I could make money from a young age. Later in life, I learned different things about business and how I should chase more than an objective of making money, but just also solving people's problems. So to begin with, I started making money from primary school into high school. I'll look for things to buy and sell, you know, something to buy and sell, be it a pen, be it a game, be it a phone, whatever it is I could get my hands on and buy and sell, I'll do that as a way of trading to make an income. Buy low, sell high. But when I was about 14 years old, my dad gave me a book to read called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that book really changed my life. I really saw that I wanted to be a business person, firstly. Secondly, I saw that in life, what pays is pursuing a cause and solving a problem. So my mindset changed from making money to pursuing a purpose, and a purpose that solves people's problems. Because when you solve people's problems, they are able to pay you. They'll be happy to pay you. If you literally look at your life right now, everything you pay for, you are paying to solve a particular problem in your life. For example, if you own a car from Toyota, you are prepared to pay Toyota because they solve your transportation problem. If you are using your cell phone to make calls, you are paying the telecoms company to solve your communication problem. When you go to the department store to buy clothes, you're paying the department store for solving your clothing problem. So life is all about solving problems. And I then learned that aspect of it, and my mindset gradually changed to looking for problems to solve. What better place to start a problem solving process than where you are? Sometimes people want to go through hoops and hurdles, they want to cross the oceans or go to a different environment to look for things that they can do to make money or start a business or get employed. But sometimes the best place is to start where you are. Look around your life and look at the problems that are around you. And literally all these problems are opportunities, because the opportunity lies in solving that problem. So if the problem is worthwhile, it's a worthy cause, it's big enough for you to sink your teeth on, then that's a problem. That problem is an opportunity. So that's exactly how I looked at it. When I started trading on the stock market when I was 15 years old, I started to look at the problems that were in the stock market, and I decided I'll try to get on with it and solve those problems. I remember when I was 15 years old, sitting down, you know, writing my 15-year plan. If you saw me in that state and where I was writing a 15-year plan and the things I aspired to achieve, you know, you'd have probably said, what drugs is this guy on? You know, because it was probably just impossible, unrealistic things. But let me tell you, it's only impossible until it's done. So for me, I decided to start where I was and look at the problems that were around me. So I wrote a list of 20 business ideas. I decided to pursue one. And that one that I decided to pursue, I decided to pursue it relentlessly with all my energy, with all my effort. And that initial one was to automate the stock market of Zimbabwe. Some of you may think it's rocket science. It was not rocket science. I believe anybody could have done what I did if they took the time to invest their energy and time into understanding the subject. Like anything in life, when you take the time to study a subject, to understand it, you become an expert at it. Even me, if you look at me, I chose to do a project of automation and financial markets when I was not even qualified to do that. So I've always been those proponents to say, if you are doing school, let school be a catalyst to meeting a certain objective and not the other way around. You know, move back to when I was 15 years old. Life is all about having a vision. You need to have a vision and be very clear where you're going in life. If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you have arrived? And how will you be able to measure success? So it's always important to know where you're going, to have a vision in life of where you want to end up. So when I wrote this list of 20 possible projects and businesses, I zeroed in on one and worked at it. It took me 7 years working on that business, but I'm proud to say that after those 7 years of hard work, I then established something that became a national asset, something where we have been custodians of $10 billion at our peak, and we have done $5 billion of transaction settlement. Basically, these are the transactions and volumes of business we've handled in our company. So I chose this business because it simply was a problem in my everyday life. So you too can look at any problem that you're facing today, be it in society, in your community, wherever you are, and speak on that problem and start to work on that problem and start to look for solutions, and you'll be surprised at what will happen. And in these 7 years of putting this together and starting business, I will not say it was always easy. There are times when I didn't have money. There are times when I was young, considered too young, being a teenager. Lots of people were not really interested in listening to me, and some thought, hey, you know what, the problem you're trying to solve is too big for your age. Just leave this to more experienced people and you pick the easy stuff. And one thing I learned from that process is that in life, when you work on a small vision, the amount of energy you take is the same as working on a big vision. So energy you spend working on a small idea is the same energy you spend working on a big idea. So I chose to take something that was big, that had the maximum impact, because at the end of the day, the effort is the same. So me being young, the way I managed that was to be clued up and to make myself an expert in the industry I was. I took time to study, go to the library, research on the internet, meet people, interact with them, attend these corporate events to understand how businesses and companies in the financial securities industries worked, and so forth and so on, such that when I was interacting with people way older than me and double my age, they were prepared to give me a seat at the table and to listen to what I had to say. And that's how I managed to overcome that problem. Then an issue of capital. That's always a common excuse. Oh, I can't start this business because I don't have the capital. You know what, my friend? That's a lazy excuse. Lazy excuse, you heard me. Lazy. I'll let that sink in. The reason why I say that is that capital is always attracted to good ideas. Money, there is too much money in this world, but too few good ideas. So if your idea is not attracting money, it means that it's not good enough, right? And whenever your idea is rejected, don't take it personally. The idea has been rejected. Refine it, change it, and adapt it, and make it grow. As long as you're making progress on a day-to-day basis, that's what's important. So in my context, I did what I could with what I had where I was. When I was a 17-year-old working on a project that needed $5 million of capital, $5 million US, I did not have that kind of money. I did not come from money. I did not have rich uncles who could give me this kind of money. But by doing what I could with what I had where I was, I slowly started to work towards it. And as I worked, I partnered with people, and more people joined the train, and it started to gain momentum and ground. And when, people always want to jump on a train that's moving. People will not jump on a train that's sitting down. So this side thing of saying, I've got this business idea, I've got it all written out, but not acting about it. Look, nobody will invest in something. If you are looking for someone to invest in your business, you must have demonstrated your own effort in this business. You must have demonstrated that you have put your own resources and that you have put a lot on the line for this to work, such that the only option for this is to work or something else. Then that way people will believe in you. People do not invest in ideas. People invest in people. You must understand that. So you need to ask yourself, am I the right person? Am I doing the right things to be an investable person? Because trust me, people never invest in businesses, they invest in people. Then in all this, I was fortunate to start a business in my teenage years, and I managed to accomplish a lot before I got married, and even when I got married, I even accomplished much more. But one thing that I can say is that as a person, as you grow, whether you are married or not, you always have to have a good balance of work and social and physical and spiritual and emotional health. So there's no point gaining one thing at the sacrifice of another. So it's always important to figure out a balance that works for you. There's no formula for it. But what I can say is that, I've had the pleasure of living on both extremes in life. I've experienced how it feels like and how it is to be poor. I've experienced how it feels like and how to live a rich life. So I've kind of seen both worlds. But one thing that I can say is that money will never buy you happiness. And money will never give you fulfillment and contentment in life. One thing that I've resolved is that true happiness comes from your relationships with people and the memories you make. So in as much as you have these business ideas, you've got this work, you've got all these great things going on, don't forget the social aspect of your happiness, because that's where your true happiness comes from. If you look at all these things we're doing them to feed our happiness, right? And our happiness will come from these relationships and memories that we make. People always ask to say, look, how do I start? What books do I need to read? Where do I need to go? And, to be honest, I'll say that whatever you do what you can with what you have where you are. Start now. It doesn't matter whatever you're doing, but just start. The very thing of starting separates you from everybody else. If I asked you, and you honestly answer me, do you have an idea that can make $1 million US? Right. If you have an idea that can make you $1 million US, why are you not a millionaire? Right? If I went out there and asked everybody the same question, everybody has an idea how to make $1 million, but everyone is not a millionaire because of the simple reason that some people sit on ideas in their head and they always stay in their head and they don't act on them. So get up, act now, do what you can with what you have where you are. Have a vision in life, know where you are going, and work towards it daily. Let it be a lifestyle that you live, that you eat, that you breathe, that you watch, that you listen to, that you look at every day, and let it be a lifestyle as you pursue greatness. And all that I can say is, one of the current issues right now is COVID. And COVID, I always like to look at things in another way. COVID, I don't believe in getting caught up in the euphoria of the moment. There'll always be something. Today it will be COVID, tomorrow it will be a financial crisis, the other day it will be a dot-com boom, the other day it will be hyperinflation. There's always something. If you want to look for an excuse not to start, there's always an excuse. If you want to look for an excuse for things not working, there will always be an excuse. But all I can say is that COVID is just a temporary setback. And in effect, if you look at it, in as much as this COVID has been devastating, there's some people who have prospered dearly out of this. So in all honesty, whatever happens, right, if you have a 15-year plan, COVID is just going to be a stumbling block in your 15-year plan. It's not going to be the focus. I've seen people making a mistake where everything is all about COVID, this, COVID, that. But trust me, if you have a long enough term plan, your long-term plan will, you'll be very much aware that there are these temporary and seasonal shocks that will come up, along the way. But you always need to keep your eye on the price. So in all this, stay safe. I wish you all success. And in everything that you do, always keep working towards your vision daily. Never give up and keep moving until you win.